Sasha. Bye.
Hey, Sasha. Just wanted to share a little bit of sort of my quiet times, what I've been going through. I've been reading through Acts for the past 20-ish days or so. I'm now on Acts 23, 24. And, one of the things I just wanted to share was just how missional and determined you really see Paul. I mean, he has got clearly a man on a mission. And at one point, a couple chapters ago, a prophet comes to him and like ties his hands up and says, "This is what's going to happen to you if you go to Jerusalem." And then lots of believers said, "Hey, Paul, like this is clearly God's trying to tell you to stay away." And Paul says, "I'm not. I am ready not only to be bound but to die." And so he clearly has heard from God. He's determined, and he's already been beaten. I mean, he kind of has this pattern. He goes in and he preaches and he upsets everybody, and then eventually they kind of beat him up, and then he kind of eventually leaves. So he's not afraid of any of this. But what I just see is just his determination, and you really kind of wonder, what is the impact that we don't read about, right? So as he's under arrest, right, these Roman guards, and they're seeing this, and they're seeing this man's life, and they're constantly hearing this testimony, right? He gives his testimony over and over again, and he talks about how he was the biggest persecutor of Christians, and the person who would track them down and put them in jail, and was there when Stephen was martyred. And so he kind of owns that, but at the same time, you just kind of wonder, like, the impact that that has on people, to see, wow, this guy has changed so dramatically. Sort of come and see, come and investigate what it is that he's claiming, because it's such a huge impact. In fact, that's actually, I think that was last week's sermon, which was one of the things Pastor Ryan talked about, was just this idea of come and see, come and investigate. And really, I think Paul's testimony would be one that would probably make, if you've heard of, a powerful testimony of someone whose life was completely transformed by Jesus, and everyone's life is transformed to some degree or another, but some people's are really the prodigal son story, right? Where completely, animosity towards God, not wanting, actually, anti-God, where they then turn around because God does something so dramatic in their lives. And while I never experienced anything quite so dramatic, I can certainly know that there was a time that before that I was not walking with God, and then once God got a hold of me, dealt with lordship. After that, that was when I really started walking with the Lord. So anyway, no real applications for this one, other than just whatever ministry that you feel like might be available, whether it's reaching out to your acro tumbling team, if you have them over for dinner, maybe strike up a conversation about a Bible verse, or ask people, "Hey, what do you guys do for devotionals?" Or, "Hey, can I even share something that I'm learning in the Word?" Just something that might be, not super weird or super kind of crazy, but just sort of shows where you stand spiritually, and may open up other conversations, other people to say, "Hey, well, I really appreciate you, kind of being open and sharing," and maybe lead to something. So I know that you had said at one time that people were trying to do a Bible study, didn't really fit in your timeline. I'd encourage you, maybe throw out a time that does work for you. Maybe offer up, "Hey, if you want to come out to my apartment, such and such time, we'll have some dinner, do some Bible study," or maybe just invite them to, "Hey, bring something to eat. We'll just sit around and snack and talk about the Bible or something." Anyway, just a thought. So hope you have a great day. Love you. Bye-bye.